The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Hi, and welcome to this week's live broadcast of the Revelation Show here on Revolution Radio with me, your host, Paul Stevenson, on this Friday, the 9th of December. And I'm very glad to say we have Gerald Celente coming up. Gerald is the, for those who don't know, I mean, I think everybody knows Gerald Celente, but he is the director of the Trends Research Institute and author of Trend Tracking and publisher of the Trends Journal, and is quite rightly widely considered to be the top trends forecaster in the world. And Gerald, are you with us?
I'm with you, Paul.
Oh, great to speak to you as always, Gerald. And how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. We just had a big conference over here. We're about 90 miles north of New York City in colonial Kingston, New York. And it's the birthplace of democracy. And this was the first capital of New York State, the Constitution that was written right across the street from me over here at the location of the courthouse. Much of America's Constitution was based on it. And it's the most historic Four Corners in America, the only place with pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings on every corner. So we had a conference up here last week, just a week ago, of the top trends of 2017. So we're still pretty high about it.
It was the first thing I was going to ask you about. It was, as you say, it was just last Friday, wasn't it? I actually looked at your promo video. It's an absolutely stunningly beautiful area as well, isn't it? Where you are and the surrounding areas.
Yeah, it's the foothills of the Catskill Mountains as well. So it's, you know, it's the Hudson Valley. This was the third Dutch settlement. And the reason why they settled it is because they could, you know, steal everything they could get from here in terms of natural resources. And of course, the area that we're in is called the Stockade District. They built a stockade to keep the Indians out because they were stealing the Indians' land and the Indians wanted it back. But anyway, you know, the genocide is terrible, but there's some good things that came out of it as well. And not of that, of course, but it's as I said, the seeds of democracy were really sown here. And much of the Constitution, of course, is from the Iroquois Nation. So I'm very grateful to be up here.
And how did the conference go? Was it busy? Good turnout? I know you've just brought out the trends, the new Trends Journal as well. I've had a chance to have a quick look through that. We'll get to that in a minute. But
oh yeah, no, they always sell out, and a great group of people. They come, you know, and we have a 2-day conference. They come as far from last one, Hong Kong, Australia, Switzerland, Ireland, Chile. The 1-day ones, we get them as far as, you know, from coast to coast.
Is it the same time? Is it the same date every year? Because I'm really hoping to come out for the next one.
Well, we usually have it the top trends one the first week of December, okay. And but we haven't planned the other ones for the rest of the year yet. But again, it's the people that come here. I always say they're not like-minded people; they're open-minded people.
Good.
And it's one after another. Every conference we have. It's such a great group of intelligent, respectful people, and well-balanced between men and women, which is really, you know, it's unique in a lot of these things. Usually they're overweighted with men, and these aren't at all.
Yeah, well, as I say, I'm really hoping to come out for the next one. And do you do the On Trendspreneur conference every year? Was that a recent thing, or are you going to continue that?
Well, we don't know yet. We're still planning for the next year. The 1-day conferences are a lot easier on us. Yeah. The 2-day ones are really a lot of work, and so we're not too sure yet.
It's I mean, I was actually talking to a guy the other day. He's a client of mine for a magazine that I work for. He's an advertiser, and he has just bought a brewery in Fermanagh in Northern Ireland. It's called Inishmixsaint Beer. And they've got a lovely promo video for it. It's a local thing. And he was like, well, you know, it's only a little local thing. He said, but I want to try and take it to the next level. And I was saying to him, you know, I think there. Would you concur that local projects, those types of projects, are a trend at the minute in response to this whole globalization of everything? The sort of local produce. It's a lovely little beer. Looks good. I said to him, listen, I think you could be onto a winner with this, because I think Ireland's got a fairly good record when it comes to exporting alcohol.
The whole buy local movement is, it's very big, and it's going to keep growing. And as you pointed out, whether it was in the United States with Trump, whether it's in Italy with the rejection of Renzi's constitutional referendum, sure, whether it's Fillon in France, whether it's UKIP, whether it's as I said, the Five Star Movement, the Cinque Stelle in Italy, the AfD party in Germany. It's about people retaining their heritage and their nationalities and their ethnicity.
Their identity.
Identity, exactly. So the globalists hate that. They call you names. They call you nationalist, populist, right-wing, fascist. And it's the people are tired of being, turned into white bread. And so these local products are very big. And matter of fact, one of the top trends we have for 2017 is called Make It New. And when you look at the election in the United States, you had a total outsider, and I'm no fan of Trump's. I'm a political atheist. This guy didn't vote for either of them. We've never had an election in America where both candidates were so unpopular. But I call things the way they are, not the way I want them to be. And as you well know, we called him a winner in the Trends Journal back in May.
That's right.
To my knowledge, it's the only publication in the world, the publication, not individuals, that identified him as a winner and the why he would win, and it came out exactly as we had predicted. But having said that, and going back to Make It New, what he did, he didn't just beat Hillary Clinton. He beat Obama. Obama campaigned more than any sitting president in modern history for a new candidate coming in. He lost. He lost the Senate and he lost the House. It was a reflection on him. Silicon Valley lost. The guys, the Zuckerbergs, the Schmitz, from Google, they were doing the algorithms and behind the whole Clinton team, their whole digital team. They lost. Hollywood lost. The Spielbergs, the Katzenbergs, the top people, they lost. The actors, the Clooneys, the De Niros, they lost. They all went for Clinton. The rappers, Jay-Z and all the rest of them. Hey, man, a bad rap, Jack. Could you swallow that, Jay-Z? I mean, you guys got a lot of attitude. Could you figure that out, Jack? They said, hey, man, Jay-Z, lazy, want no part of you. Capisce? Because I'm tired of this rap crap where they think they're so damn special and we got to swallow it. Hey, but Jay-Z, man, they turned their back on you. And Beyonce, bye-bye, babe. They all lost.
Yeah, and we don't give a shit what you have to say, and no one's interested in listening to you. They really.
What I'm saying, though, Paul, very important. They all lost. The major media lost. So, as a top trend, make it new. It's there for you to create. There's nothing there. They took out the top. There's no political parties anymore. Look at these little people. Go back to the headlines, going back as early as October, late as October. Paul Ryan, that guy that used to play Eddie Munster, I think, in the Munsters. He became the House Speaker over there. He didn't support Trump. None of them did. There's no party. People could create whatever they want. The only thing that's holding them back is their mind and a lack of courage. That's why our top trend is make it new, going back to your friend with the brewery. So now you take it to another level. In Brexit, you put out a product made with pride in the UK. Same thing in the USA. It's more than make it local, it's make it national. Now you play the Trump card. And again, this is what the Trends Journal is about, pointing these things out. The Trump card was he played his own game. He was a reality show champion. Crooked Hillary, calling her out, I'll put you in jail when I get in. So now you're going to make sneakers, let's say, and you're in the United States. You play the Trump card, made in USA with pride, not like that crap that guy Phil Knight from Nike is using slave labor to bring in his sneakers and make billions of dollars, mark up the prices way beyond what they should be. So that's why you should buy made in USA pride sneakers. That's what we're trying to tell people. Play the Trump card. Look what happened. Not whether you like it, dislike it, it's what it is.
Yeah, as you say, it's just a total rejection of the filth and the exploitation and and I mean, as you say, actors, Clinton, the whole thing, they've all been sort of just defeated by this, and it's humble pie time for them. But they're still...
No, it's not humble pie for them.
But they're
sociopaths. Sociopaths never admit anything.
Mm. Yeah, they continue to whinge and throw their toys out of the...
Yeah, because now they're coming out with the fake news story.
Oh, yeah. The Irish...
That's a cover-up for them losing.
The cheek... it's been fake news coming out of mainstream media for...
Yeah, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. Yeah. The Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam that never happened. How about all those lies that Clinton told with Bosnia? No, it's fake news forever.
I wanted to ask you about this. Trump, his foreign policy so far, from what I can gather, seems to be common sense and non-interventionist. A warmer attitude, disposition towards Putin and things like this. But then you've got, Mitt Romney in the running for Secretary of State. And how do you see? I just can't reconcile some of this peace talk and non-interventionist approach. And then you've still got some neocons around in the deep state. They're going to want to keep their wars going, Gerald, aren't they?
Again, you summed it up. On one end, he's saying, no toppling foreign governments. We don't know what's going on over there. And then the next breath out of Trump's mouth is to build the military bigger. I mean, they just saw, it was $618 billion next year. We're spending more money than 14 countries combined, the top 14. And then you look at the people that Trump brought on,
sure,
or is bringing on beyond Romney. He's bringing in all of these guys from the military, and one after another. The guy to run Homeland Security, he's bringing in a retired general. His selection for Defense Secretary, this guy John Mattis.
Mad Dog Mattis?
Yeah, Mad. Could you imagine an adult calling himself Mad Dog?
It's a disgrace.
What do you foam at the mouth? I mean, you're proud of being a mad dog? Yeah. So, and you look at one after another. The guy, Michael Flynn,
sure, as
National Security Advisor, yeah, and the CIA guy, this guy he brought in, this Mike Pompeo, which was a West Point graduate and retired Army general. And now he's considering David Petraeus for Secretary of State and Admiral Michael Rogers as the head of the National Security Agency. Yeah. So what is this, a military government?
Exactly. I can't reconcile how he's going to do it. And by the way, why don't you move all those bases surrounding China? And, if we're all going to be for peace, why are we surrounding China? I mean, that hasn't been retracted. I mean, the South China Sea. I mean, could you imagine China having the presence that we have, or the U.S. has over there surrounding California?
Of course, or Russia down in the the Gulf of Mexico, or off the coast of the Atlantic, where all the so many military bases are as well on that side too. The hypocrisy. To me, this Trump. He went to military school as a young guy. When we're the same age. The greatest punishment your parents could give you when you were a kid, your little SOB, had enough of your crap, you're going to go to military school. This guy, yo, Ma, I'll be good, I'll be good. This guy was so out of control, they sent Trump to military school. And it's not far from where we are, down in Cornwall, New York, about 30, 40 minutes south of us over here, in the middle of nowhere. Now, here's a kid, a teenager. We come from an extremely wealthy family. He's so out of control, they sent him to military school. So now imagine you're a teenage boy. What do you want to do? You want cars? You like girls? Me being Italian, mother's spoiling him, and may her soul rest in peace, cooking these delicious dinners every night, And now I'm going to go to military school, make my own bed, and eat this crappy food, and dress up in military drag. So maybe Trump hasn't gotten over the military drag thing, man, because he's bringing in all these military cats. So on some aspects, I'm very supportive of him, and on the others, I'm totally against it.
Yeah. I've been a supporter of him because, obviously he's called out the establishment, and he's a nationalist, and there's a lot of good stuff. He's already brought back some jobs and stuff. But I just look at some of the names that we just mentioned, and I think to myself, you're talking peace out of one side of your mouth, and then it sounds to me that you're gearing up for a war, my friend,
Well, not only that, they're militarizing the nation. Even they did under the traitor-in-chief Obama. I mean, he's robbed us of so many of our civil rights. Bombs away, drone you anywhere you want, anybody who you are, American citizen or not. Quote, I'm really good at killing people, drone that Obama says on Terror Tuesdays, according to the book Double Down. So now with all these military mindset in here, they're even going to take more rights away from us. So that's what I'm concerned about. And also on Trump, the positives again, what he's doing with the, this thing with Carrier air conditioning, yeah, and keeping some jobs here and renegotiating the trade deals, which are lousy. So when you look at this, Paul, what he's done is he's reversed the trend of outsourcing. That's very big. Even if he doesn't create that many new jobs, psychologically, it's very important. And so he's making some positive moves on those fronts.
Sure.
The other thing we're forecasting, he will have 2 years to do anything that he wants. There is no party to stand in his way. I say 2 years because if he really screws up, the next election, the next midterm election, they'll bring in, opposition party. Now, in talking about an opposition party, this is also an opening for a new third party in America. Not the libertarians or the green parties, but something more resembling Cinque Stelle over in Italy, or the AfD party in Germany, or Brexit with the UKIP party. Something very, very different. And because the Democratic Party is dead. There are a bunch of phony little lying liberals who let their murderer-in-chief slaughter people. But now, again, with Trump, also his anti-environmental stand, what it's going to do, it's going to be now a checks and balance system back again, because under Obama, there was no protests. So under Trump, they'll start protesting again. But again, on the issues of environment and if there is war. So that's the positive element of it, that there'll be more movement going from the people. And the more positive element, as we see it, is the possibility of a new third party.
Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because I think people are sick and tired of this, duality of the same people on both sides running the show all the time. But as you say, Trump, it's a rejection of the whole establishment, certainly by the people anyway, who voted for him. And I'm concerned mainly about just some of his choices when it comes to foreign policy. I just think, are these wars going to continue? And even though he's talking peace, because in the Trends Journal you've got an article, Peace Brings Prosperity. You've got an article in there outline of a peace bringing prosperity. What way do you see just the economy, say for the next 12 months?
I think there's going for the United States economy, I think it's going to be positive. This Trump rally is real. Could there be a big correction from here? Sure, they can. But it's correcting from a very high point. Globally, it's a different story. Because when interest rates go up, all of that money that was borrowed in the emerging markets and other markets was borrowed in dollars. And now you're looking at the currencies, crashing in many instances. So, for example, if you borrow that money in rupees or rupias or real or rubles, you have to pay it back in dollars. And as your currency is declining, you have to pay it back in more dollars. So that's going to be the big issue as they raise interest rates and the dollar gets stronger. On top of that, you take the world's second largest economy, China, and you have some real problems there. You're looking at a country that had 20 years ago, their total debt load, corporate and government, according to David Stockman, was $500 billion. Today, it's $30 trillion. Now, let's go back to the value of the dollar rising. The dollar is now touching 14-year highs. The yuan, the Chinese yuan now is at 8-year lows. They just had $70 billion worth of currency outflows last month, October. They're doing everything they can to stop the currency outflows. And they're not alone. They're trying to stop it in Malaysia. They're trying to stop it in country after country. They don't know what to do. So that's on the other side of the coin. It goes back to gold. Gold is not going to do well with a strong dollar. But as a safe haven asset, you're going to start seeing a lot of issues arise from the stronger dollar. This is a very different time than when the dollar was strong, like, let's say, under a Ronald Reagan. This is a different era of trade. There was no China. Russia was still behind the Iron Curtain. It's a whole different globalization.
Sure. Gerald, I think we're going to go to break in a couple of minutes. I don't know where you've got 10 minutes on the other side or where you've got a dash, but I think the ads are going to kick in any minute. So I just wanted to, rather than that interrupt you,
Okay.
Do you want to come back on the other side for 10 minutes?
I could stay for 10 more.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, just continue. I just didn't, when the ads, when the break comes up, it sort of interrupts you rudely. So just carry on, and then when they come in, we'll finish on the other side.
So going back to gold, that's why we still hold it as a safe haven asset. But with Trump coming in, we did a 180 on this. Because, again, we look at it for, as I said, it's not because I like somebody or dislike them. It's what is. And the what is that he's doing things that are more positive for the domestic economy. Yeah. But it's going to hurt a lot of companies in the United States who rely on exports.
Do you think it's good for the UK?
No. What's good for the UK is good for itself, in the sense that, again, to become more of a self-sustaining economy, made in pride in UK. You have to start pulling away from globalization. Goes back to the brewery in Ireland. Yeah. Bi-national, it's bigger than local, self-sustaining. What, the UK, 65 million people? I mean, you can't make it your own. You can't buy your own. They have the human and natural resources to be more self-sustaining. It's anti-globalization, bringing it to the national level down to the local level.
A lot of this stuff tastes better as well. I mean, I'll tell you what, some of the crap that people drink, these international beers and stuff. I mean, I'll tell you what, in your own country, Budweiser is one of the worst beers you get. So you don't even have to think that there's going to be.
You know who owns Budweiser, don't you?
Sorry, who owns it?
It's that huge Dutch firm.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they bought him out a number of years ago.
It's like it's terrible.
It's not even American garbage anymore.
All right, yeah. Well,
but anyway, that's the opportunities are here, and one of our other trends is called true nostalgia. Think of Trump's campaign slogan: "Make America Great Again."
Yeah.
So when was the again? And again, not to put an again in a time zone or a time slot, people are looking for true nostalgia. It goes beyond millennials liking Edison light bulbs. It's a going back to what's going on in France when you hear Fallon saying they want to bring back respect and true values of the French culture. And that's what we're looking at. There are opportunities in product development. And you said this internationalized foods and drinks taste like crap for the most part, except when you get to some of the great cognacs or fine wines, a good prosciutto, then we're talking differently.
Yeah, but the majority of it's rubbish,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you on the other side of the table. Hi, you're back with me, Paul Stevenson, here on Revolution Radio, and I was just talking to Gerald Celente. And okay, Gerald, you were just talking about gold prices and the economy. So just pick up where you left.
Yes. So we really have to look at is the global economy, and the global economy. We just saw what happened yesterday with the ECB and Mario Draghi, the former Goldman Sachs head of the European division. Now ahead of the European Central Bank, they're still going to be, pumping in a little bit less, but, from 80 billion euros a month to 60 billion euros a month is starting in April, but that's going to go on, through the year, through 2017. And because there's no growth going on, you look at the problems in China and their debt levels, as I was talking about. Look at all these emerging markets that have to pay back their debt in dollars as the dollar goes stronger. Sure. But on the positive, again, that's why we're saying, and it's not investment advice, we do not give it, but we're saying gold is still a good safe haven commodity. Because, for example, if you're down in Venezuela now, they're not counting the money, they're weighing it. They're putting it on scales because it's so worthless, like they did prior to World War II in Germany.
Wheelbarrows full of money, yeah.
Yeah. So now look what just happened in India, where they called in all the cash, 86% of it. What would you rather have, that worthless cash or gold? So that's what I was saying. The United States economy looks like it's going to perform better. Is it going to be great? No, but it'll be better. And then on the global front, I don't think there's going to be conflict that we saw under the Republicans and Democrats with Trump. I think there's going to be a cooling out. As a matter of fact, it's already happening. I'll give you two examples. Just this week, Royal Dutch Shell signed a deal with Iran to develop 3 major oil and gas fields, 3 of the biggest ones. The other one is that Glencore and Qatar, their investment arm of the Qatar government, just cut a deal with Rosneft in Russia. They're buying 20% of it. They're privatizing it.
Yeah.
So now you're seeing an easing of the sanctions. The sanctions are costing too much money to too many people. The bottom line, why Trump won, it's the bottom line. It's about people not having jobs, not earning a living. 95% of the wealth created under Obama, this is a fact, went to the 1% in the U.S. The gap between the rich and the poor here is back to Gilded Age levels. So those are the positives. And I was talking about true nostalgia. So whatever country you're in, whatever product you want to produce, whatever sound or style, consider making it great again. That was his slogan. But you retrofit it for the future. So there's a lot of opportunity, Paul.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a good word, yeah.
And, I felt differently about this. I'm a trend forecaster. Again, I go with the facts, not with my heart or what I want. And again, you've heard me on shows. I'm certainly no fan of Trump. And I'll criticize him any time I want, like I have done. But I'm also showing where the strengths are.
Yeah. Well, I like that about you, Gerald. I was talking to someone, I forget, it was some comment on YouTube or something the other day, and some guy had to go at me or something, about criticizing Trump. And I said, listen, man, I'll do my own thinking. I'm not like, I don't want to be just like all the morons on the left where, you know, Obama can say it and do what he wants and everyone still supports him. They're still defending him. How that clown is still have that popularity is beyond me. I don't want to join, you know, I don't want Trump to be my cult leader. You know, he's open to criticism like everybody else, you know.
Yeah. So there are a number of positives. And also, you know, in our top trends list, and anybody could get them by, of course, subscribing to the Trends Journal at trendsresearch.com, trendsresearch.com. And we know people are having a difficult time, so there's a discount request page, but it's still only 27 cents a day. And you get the Trends Journal, Trends Monthlies, Trends Alert each week, and Trends in the News broadcast each weekday night. But for the people that can't afford it, you know, it's the only place where you're going to read history before it happens, because there are some big trends developing. One of them, we call it VR-ED, virtual reality education. You're seeing the beginning of a whole new education system develop. And this, the one that we have now, is an industrial age model, and it's bringing us industrial age results. With virtual education, this is a whole new game. I mean, you talk about homeschooling. Yeah, you got it, man. You're wherever you are, that's your home. And you're in any place you want to be in, you're going to be in when we get to the next levels of virtual reality. So what we do, we provide where the opportunities are, and then different firms that we work with provide, if you want to, and we have nothing to do with this, where to invest in. So we paint the big picture, and then other firms show, okay, if this is what's going to happen, here's where we suggest you go to in investment. So we see a lot of positive opportunities, and this is probably one of the most positive years I've seen in the last, I'm going to say 15.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, you know, do you think the EU can even last, Gerald?
No. And what happened in Italy last week, what's happening, no, it's not going to last. And I could see first the end of the euro, and then the end of the eurozone.
Yeah, because they keep talking about, you know, the Brexit from the EU, and they're trying to, you know, navigate. Well, I mean, if you've been following that, they're trying to throw some spanners in the works there and stuff. But you know, I keep thinking there's not going to be an EU for that much longer. I know, so don't get too stressed about it. Anyway, Gerald, I'll let you go. It's a pleasure as always having you on. Happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Do you just stay in Kingston, or are you going? Will you go away for Christmas?
I'm not sure. I don't have my plans yet. They're up and down. They're in different directions. So I may end up staying here. But Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year to you and everyone listening. And wish you all the best. And thank you so much for having me on. And thank you for all that Revolution Radio does to inform people and to help them prepare for the future.
All right, great, Gerald. Thanks again, and God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So there goes Gerald Celente, and always a real pleasure. He's so informative, and his Trends Journal, I mean, it's just a wonderful product. There's so much in there. Don't want to give too much away, but he's got this in this this issue, the fall 2016 issue. He's got President Trump economy versus the global economy, winners and losers. Infrastructure hype is just that, hype. He's got a good article here on peace brings prosperity. And it's just, you know, anybody interested in business, popular culture, the trends are wonderful. And the work he does is wonderful. And there's a lot in there, you know, that's packed full of information. And then you've got the trends alerts, where, you know, the Gerald basically gives daily trends alerts, where you can get a daily update on geopolitical and economic information, as I say again, as well as cultural and trends. And so a lot in there, and that is the Trends Research Institute. Gerald, of course, very, very popular on various different media outlets. I came across him in InfoWars, and then I met him in Dublin, he does speaking tours as well. And I'm hoping to get out for the Trends, you know, the next Trends conference that he's just done. Got a year now to prepare to get out there for that, but I really want to get out there.